Hi. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some film cameras that I would recommend for any beginners. So if you are getting into film photography for the very first time and you're wondering what would be a good camera to start out with, this video is going to be telling you about some various models of camera that I really like, and certainly ones that I've enjoyed working with over the years. I've been into film photography ever since the 80s, and it's been a huge hobby of mine for decades, and I still enjoy it very much. Now, many people wonder, okay, well, if you're into film photography, does that mean you have something against digital? Not at all. I love digital photography, but I really enjoy the hands-on aspect of film photography, and I really enjoy the film development stage. I basically use my bathroom at home as a very simple dark room, and I absolutely love developing films at home, both color and black and white. So let's not waste any more time. Here are some film photography cameras that I highly recommend if you are a beginner. Coming up, first of all, is the Canon AE1. Now, if you talk to many film photographers, this is a camera that comes up a lot. It's a camera that is often recommended for beginners. The results are quite consistent. I've used this camera many times and I enjoy it a lot, and it's very simple to use, and it's definitely an ideal camera for beginners. Coming up next is the Pentax K1000. Now, one word people often use to describe the K1000 is a workhorse. It's often referred to as a workhorse, and there's a real reason for that. It's incredibly reliable, very sturdy. It's one of those cameras that's a real classic and a real go-to. And many people basically cut their teeth on the Pentax K1000. It was the first camera for many people. I own one, and it's a really fun camera to dig out and shoot with. Another camera that's highly recommended for beginners would be the Nikon FE2. Now, I don't have a whole lot of experience with this camera. I have used it in the past a long time ago, and I recall enjoying using it, and it is certainly a camera that many photographers would highly recommend. Now, one line of camera that I would definitely recommend is the Olympus OM series. I own an Olympus OM2N, and it's probably the one 35mm SLR film camera that I go to the most. I love it. The viewfinder is huge. The Zuiko lenses that are often paired with the Olympus OM series are fantastic. They tend to be pin sharp and give consistently good results. I also own the Olympus OM10, which is also an excellent camera. These cameras are fairly easy to find on the secondhand market, so if you come across any of the Olympus OM cameras, definitely give it a try. I think you'll be very pleased. Another line of cameras that I definitely wanted to recommend, and this is a line of cameras that gets very overlooked in my opinion, and it's very underrated, and this is the Konica Auto Reflex series. Now, the Konica Auto Reflex series was introduced in the late 1960s, and they came out of Japan, and this line of cameras was produced right up until 1987. And the Konica Auto Reflex series, I love them. I have many of the cameras from this series, and what's awesome about them, they're very easy to use, they're very user-friendly, very good for beginners, and also they often came with a line of lenses called Hexanon. Now, I've talked about Hexanon lenses in previous videos, and they are excellent. And even many professional photographers will tell you that the Hexanon lenses were absolutely incredible. And just as a side note, Hexanon lenses were actually the official lens of the Japanese military for many years. So that says a lot. But yeah, you can find Konica Auto Reflex cameras on the secondhand market very easily. They tend to be very affordable, so definitely keep your eye open for that. Now, also for beginners, I would recommend rangefinder cameras. Now, if you're not familiar with what a rangefinder camera is, it's basically a point and shoot. You often don't have a lot of options. There's not a lot of settings that you can fiddle with on a rangefinder. It's pretty much a point and shoot, as I said. The simplicity of rangefinders is really good, especially for beginners. Now, one rangefinder that I love is the Olympus Trip 35. This is a great camera with a built-in Zuiko lens, dead simple, really easy to use, and it's always given me excellent results. That's the Olympus Trip 35. Another rangefinder that I love is the Lomo LCA. This is a very lo-fi camera, and it has a very distinct look. It tends to give a very good color saturation. It gives vignetting. Vignetting is that effect where the corners of the photo are darkened, and I kind of like that. But anyway, it has a very distinct look, and the Lomo LCA, you can find them on the secondhand market fairly easily. Now, you may also be interested in medium format film photography. That would be using 120 size film. Now, if you want to do that, you can use a Holga. And again, Holga is a dead simple camera. And again, you don't have a lot of options for adjusting the settings. But again, for a beginner, that can be a good thing. Also for medium format, you can try the Lomo Diana F or the Diana F Plus. And again, this is another camera that is very lo-fi. It has a plastic lens, so it's not about quality. It's more about getting a dreamy sort of distinct look. Also, you may want to look into twin lens reflex cameras, which look something like this, the image that I'm showing you on the screen right now. I own a Recoflex Model 7, as you can see on the screen, and it's a really excellent twin lens reflex camera. I think I bought mine for around $100, so they can be found for a pretty decent price. If you're willing to spend a little bit more, you may want to look into the Mamiya 645. This is a medium format camera that many people will very frequently recommend, and certainly it's a little bit more high-end, a little bit more expensive, but if you're willing to pay the price, the Mamiya 645 is definitely a great medium format camera. So that's my little rundown of film cameras that are good for beginners. You may also want to talk to your parents or your grandparents. They may have some cheap point-and-shoot cameras sitting around, maybe something that they used back in the 90s, something tucked away in their closet, and you can certainly ask them if they have anything like that. They may be willing just to pass that along to you. These can also be really good cameras for beginners, really good cameras to learn on. And I've noticed that a lot of 35mm film cameras nowadays, they're very, very overpriced. There's a real resurgence right now in film photography. A lot of younger people are getting into film photography, and because of that, the price of color film has gone way up, and the price of used cameras, I've noticed, has gone way up. Cameras that used to sell for $100 to $200 are now selling for about $800 to $900. I would highly recommend that you never pay that much for a used camera. Unless it's in mint condition and it works brand new, I would never pay that much. You can find a lot of used cameras on the secondhand market for very decent prices, much lower than the inflated prices that they tend to be going for nowadays. So that's it. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching. I hope you can join us again next time. And please, as always, subscribe to the channel. It's always greatly appreciated. It really helps my channel grow. Leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.